My mum asked me to watch my siblings for a week. It's been 9 weeks. My mum went out 2 days before Christmas and then texted me 12 hours later saying she would be gone for a week and for me to have the kids. She hasn't come back since. So almost 9 weeks. I have heard from her 3 times total and she is saying she isn't coming back anytime soon, she just keeps sending money. My siblings are 16, 13, 12, 9, and 7 years old. I'm 19. I'm surviving looking after the kids by myself, and to be honest, not much has changed because I did most of it when my mum was here anyway. We live with our nan, but she doesn't help with them really either, and my older siblings are long moved out. I guess my question is my mum being gone a serious issue legally and with social services? I don't want to risk the kids going into care, been there done that when I was younger, so I haven't told anyone that she's gone. I'm scared of what will happen if people find out, so I don't want to even ask the question IRL. Update 1. I spoke to my mum on the phone and told her I want her to give me custody of the kids since she is refusing to come back or say when she will be back, and I'm done with her bullshit. We argued for like an hour, but in the end she said she would do it after I told her I was going to call the police on her. Before speaking to her I spoke to a lawyer and I should be able to get legal guardianship through a parenting order which will go through court. My 22-year-old brother said he will move home and help me under the condition that my mum doesn't move back as he refuses to be around her. His income and input will help a lot and he seems serious about wanting to be involved with parenting and taking care of the kids, especially our little brother, as he needs a male role model badly. If we can't get custody then my nan should be able to. Either way my mum is very unlikely to keep custody unless she suddenly decides she gives a shit. I would bet my life she will never give a flying fuck. Getting legal custody is the outcome I want, so I'm relieved it seems like a real possibility. Now I'm just doing a total overhaul of everything with the kids because I think they need a lot more structure, discipline, rules, routine than they have had until now. I have realized I don't really know anything about good parenting, so I have a lot to learn. Maybe I will get some books. Until now our house has been more like a house share with everyone doing what they want and running around feral rather than anyone really guiding the kids. I grew up even more feral and I don't think it's a good way to be raised. So I'm starting a bath and bedtime routine for the youngest 2, and a curfew for the teenagers. Because right now the 12-year-old goes off on his skateboard and will just show up again at like 10 p.m. on a school night. I've also been giving them much better food than they usually have and it's been rough to get them to eat healthy, but we have made so much progress already. Any advice on instilling rules would be welcome as I don't think it will be easy and I have never had any kind of actual parent role model in my life. Update 2. Thanks to advice here we have realized that getting kinship is a better choice for us financially than getting legal guardianship. This wasn't mentioned to us by the lawyer or social services, so I'm so grateful for everyone here as we will have so much less financial stress on kinship and we will get access to a lot more services for the kids. Things are already seeming so much less scary. My brother has come home to help me and is working remotely for his same job, which is ideal. He has been amazing at making it all happen so fast and packing up his life to move back. He is still back and forth at the moment but should be here full time besides a few days a month where he has to be there in person. Our oldest sister has said she will send some money every month to help us but doesn't want to be involved other than that. I understand why and am very grateful she is helping. Honestly it hurts a bit that she refuses to talk about the kids or anything, but she is doing what she can handle right now I guess. Our other sister is working FIFO right now and has suggested coming back on her weeks off to help out, but I'm not sure if that will actually happen or work well in reality. My brother doesn't get along with her very well and says he doesn't think living with her again will work. The kids are still struggling with the new rules and we have had some issues. 16-year-old hates me, so my brother is trying to take over with her because I am bored of fighting with her. The others are doing better but still so difficult. 7-year-old won't sleep, which is the hardest thing right now because then I can't sleep and I'm tired as fuck. She has meltdowns when she's tired and she's always tired now, so she's always having meltdowns. What to do with her? Everything I try to make her sleep doesn't work that well. She says she doesn't know why she won't sleep, so where to even start. My brother tried to get her to bed and she just cried and screamed for me. 12-year-old is listening to our brother, which is the best thing to ever happen because I was really worried about handling him since he listens to me never. 13 and 9-year-old are easier and not stressing me out too much. so we are kind of divide and conquer now. My brother handles 2 and I handle the other 3. I have found out I am very protective of the younger ones and find it very difficult to let my brother discipline them, so it causes less problems between us if I deal with them. Still early days and hoping consistency will fix a lot of the smaller issues. Long term we want to rent somewhere bigger as our nan's house is very cramped and making things harder. This is long and messy, sorry. Just wanted to update everyone who has asked and thank everyone again for the advice. Update 3. We applied for kinship and have had the provisional approval and the home inspection and some interviews. We've got a couple more things to do / still ongoing, and then we should be good. We got our first payment, which has been so good and really made me feel much more optimistic about everything because we will be able to actually do something other than just survive. The case worker pretty much told me they don't want to have to find placements for this many kids, so us keeping them is their much preferred option, which is reassuring. My mum hasn't contacted me for a while. We thought she might show up on Easter because holidays are usually her time to cry about how much she misses our dad, and she usually prefers to ruin everyone's day with that. But she didn't come, thank God. Our nan is still at our auntie's because she can't stand to be around us apparently. Because me trying to feed them good food and not let a 7-year-old disappear for hours on bicycles with kids 3+ years old than her is just me thinking I'm better than my nan. A lot of people said to try and co-sleep with 7-year-olds, so I have started doing that. It's helping a bit and she actually will lay down, so that's a win, but she still cries a lot and tries to get up. She also does a death grip on me, so I have kind of accepted that I have to go to bed when she does. It's not the worst thing ever because I have been looking things up and reading online whilst I lay with her when she eventually calms down. I've ordered melatonin to try. I share a room with 16-year-old and she doesn't want 7-year-old in there, but it's kind of tough. I can't do anything about it until we can move house, which isn't going to be soon. It's not the most peaceful night with her in there because she kicks me and wakes up at random times trying to chat or crying, but we are getting some sleep. She slept in my single bed with me from 4 months old until she was like 2. I clearly knew nothing about safe sleep, but my mom had sold the crib to try to annoy my dad, so she actually had nowhere else to sleep, and I haven't told her that because I don't want to tell her that her mom didn't care that she didn't have a bed, but she seems to remember because she said, "We used to have sleepovers in your bed a lot, didn't we?" Also, I got 16-year-old earplugs and told her she can sleep in 7-year-old's bed in the other room if she prefers. I do my best to try to soothe 7-year-old in general. She had one of her crying breakdowns last week and said she didn't feel safe or happy. Then she said she wishes I was her real mummy. I told her I am her real mummy because I've looked after her for her whole life and I won't ever leave her. She seems a bit happier since then. I'm going to get a photo of us for her to have in her little purse she carries everywhere. She's pretty sentimental, so she will like that. Yesterday she asked me if me and our brother are married, lol. Obviously I said no, and she said, "I just feel like you are my mum and dad." I hope that's a good thing, even if it is a little weird. She is definitely bonding with him too. She always wants me to carry her around, and when I say no because I'm busy, he offers to do it and she lets him now. She used to ignore him. Seeing her snuggle into his neck and actually relax is the cutest thing. Makes my heart happy because I remember wishing I had a dad who would hold me, and I'm so glad she is getting all the love. Me and my brother have had a few disagreements over discipline. He is pretty strict and usually that's a good thing because they need it tbh, but sometimes I find it a bit much. Biggest disagreement was when he smacked 9-year-old and I lost my shit. We grew up with a lot worse, and NGL I have smacked them before, but I don't want to be doing that anymore. Bro thinks there's nothing wrong with one smack on the bum. I would just rather we don't go there. He said he won't do it again and I don't think he will. He wasn't angry when he did it, so I'm not really concerned about it, and he apologized to 9-year-old. We're just still trying to figure out discipline. Our dad used an electric cord as a whip, so one smack on the bum is practically gentle parenting to us. I have read enough to know we don't want to be doing any physical disciplining though. Worst thing I've had to do is give the youngest 2 suppositories. My sister gave me money to take them to the GP because I was worried about them and couldn't find any for free and didn't want to wait for kinship. Turns out they are both malnourished, underweight and constipated as frick, and they've missed some vaccines. For the constipation we tried medicine and more fiber and more water, but no bueno, so it had to be the suppositories because the doctor said it was verging on severe. I tried to explain it to them and make the whole thing easy, but it turned into quite the drama. 9-year-old was easier but still took me a while. 7-year-old was impossible and everyone got too stressed on day 1, so we left it, and she was still not complying on day 2, so my brother had to get involved and pretty much had to hold her down. Because I called the doctor and she said either we do it or I take her in, and they do it. So we had no choice really, and I still feel horrible about it. I'm obsessed with what they're eating now because I do not want anyone going through that again. But I will say they are a lot better since. They aren't getting tummy aches and they aren't so grouchy. And it has helped 7-year-old with her sleep for sure. We are getting the other 3 to the doctor next week. We will do telehealth after, but I want them to see someone in person for the first appointment. After that, the next thing on the list is dentist. We have looked at therapy and should be getting telehealth sessions soon. So far all 3 teenagers have said they aren't doing therapy, but I will try to make them at least try it. 16-year-old is still difficult. She took my ID and she was going out whenever she liked. But my brother grounded her and she has actually listened and not tried to sneak out. The other 3 are doing okay. No big issues with them, TBH. They are adapting pretty well, I think. I try to talk to them all about everything when I can, and they all seem to understand what's going on and trust that we won't be going anywhere, and we just need them to cooperate with us so we can get through. My little brother Jay, 12, is obsessed with older bro. I used to have an issue with Jay going out every evening for hours and was so stressed about trying to keep him home and safe, but Matt being here has basically eliminated the issue. Jay just wants to be around him all the time, and Matt has somehow got this kid thinking doing homework with him is the best thing ever. Sorry this is so long again. How long I will keep doing these updates, but for now everyone is so incredibly helpful that I will carry on posting because I always need more advice. The advice and support from everyone in the comments and PM has been amazing and has actually helped change our day-to-day life for the better, so thank you so much, internet strangers. Update 4. My previous posts explain everything, but short version is our mum left right before Christmas and I'm now looking after my 5 younger siblings. 16-year-old has been a pain in the ass the whole time. So unhelpful, permanently grumpy, and arguing about everything and winding up the younger ones just to be annoying, basically making my life harder every chance she gets. She got her phone confiscated today because she was videoing our little sister having an emotional meltdown and laughing at her. Later on, whilst I was putting the phone away, I saw a message from our mum pop up saying some horrible shit. My mum hasn't messaged me in weeks and 16-year-old hasn't mentioned messaging her at all, so I was like WTF. Took me a few attempts to get into her phone, but I got in and saw so many messages. Mostly her begging our mum to come home and our mum either ignoring her or telling her to come to the city she's in right now. 16-year-old sent her so many messages saying our younger siblings need her, and our mum replied saying I think I know how to raise them better, so she is leaving me to it since I don't want her here. Most recent one was 16-year-old asking why she doesn't care about us, and our mum basically saying she has better things to do than sit here and listen to us all tell her everything she is doing wrong all the time. I knew she was having a hard time, but reading her messages to our mum has broken me and I just want to stop her hurting so much. She basically hates me right now, so comforting her is very hard because she will not open up even a bit, and whenever I speak to her about it she acts like she doesn't care. What to do or say to her. Meanwhile my older sister just calls me periodically to tell me she wishes she could help, but she can't because of a list of reasons, including but not limited to her not being able to face being around our youngest sister because our parents said she was her replacement and older sis can't get over it. Which is like, okay, but baby sis just turned 7 and big sis is almost 25, so at some point she needs to try get past that and realize it's not the little one's fault. And big sis is struggling because she feels like I'm her kid apparently, and she wanted me to come live with her when I was younger, but I chose to stay here and let my mom get away with not parenting. But the alternative is my siblings being neglected and abused like we were. Anyway, for real, I don't have time to be dealing with her emotional issues on top of everyone else's. And she's whining to me like, oh, I had to take time off work because I'm having a hard time mentally, which makes me feel so great when I am working my ass off to feed 5 kids and dealing with a million behavioral issues a day and don't have time to do anything before everyone starts shouting, therapy. Yeah, it's in the works. Trying to get telehealth arranged, but it's taking forever. We can't afford anything else, so that's the best we have for now. Until then it's good old-fashioned, just get on with it and try not to fuck the kids up any more than they are already. Update 5. Currently things are going okay. Big things that have happened / are happening. My older sister, the second oldest, is coming to visit soon. The relationship between her and my older brother is kind of strained because of some shit that happened when they were younger, and the 3 older ones all lived together for a bit after leaving home. Honestly, I think it was just a shit show having 3 damaged teenagers living together in a new place with no support. I don't have time to be the mediator though, so just told them if they can't get along then my sister will need to leave because the kids don't need any more drama and my brother needs to focus on being a parent. She's coming because she wants to, and she said she won't cause any drama, she just wants to help. We'll see how it goes anyway, but I'm low-key dreading it. Last time I saw this sister was years ago though, so I'm trying to not think she's going to be the same as she was when she was a teenager. We have started planning to move to WA. My brother is desperate to get out of our town and not have to worry about our parents showing up. He gets a lot of anxiety about it. He doesn't like me being at home without him being here. His job will help him move over there and he has been set on it for a while now. We will be able to transfer over there even with the kids being on kinship care, which is basically the only thing I was worried about. But that's confirmed, we will be fine to do it, so now I'm on board with it. Won't be any time soon, but hopefully end of the year we can move. Financially we are doing pretty good. We have the kinship money, mine and my brother's wages, and my older sisters have been sending money consistently. My brother is good with money and we are able to save some. I was able to buy the kids a small present each to cheer them up on Mother's Day. They have like barely any toys, so the little ones are psyched to have some things to play with and have been being feral outdoors way less this week. They have been playing Lego and Barbies like normal children. 7-year-old sleeps so good when I give her melatonin. I don't do it every night, but when I do it's like a mini holiday. She sometimes wakes up mad, but I can deal with that when I have actually slept. Other nights when she doesn't have it, I either keep her downstairs and hope she will fall asleep on me or my brother whilst watching TV, or I go through the emotional bedtime routine of her crying and saying she doesn't want to go to bed whilst I read the same 3 stories until she chills out. She is doing better at school again now. It was pretty bad for a while, obviously because she was permanently exhausted and surviving on literal air only because the kid wouldn't sleep or eat. She keeps crying saying she wants me to be her mum too, but I'm not her mum and she doesn't know what to do. Of course, I have told her she can call me what she wants and it won't change the fact I will look after her and be there for her the same either way. I am kind of worried 7-year-old is going to start calling Matt dad because she is deep in her wanting a dad era and desperate for a dad. Talks about it a lot and asks about having a dad daily, which triggers the other kids who hate our dad. So if it will go down well if she starts calling bro dad. And I feel like it will be weird for her to refer to us both like that when we are siblings. But I don't want to tell her she can't either. She hasn't done it yet, but I can see her edging towards it. She asked me if I was going to marry Matt so he could be the dad. And he is so good with her. I heard him singing to her the other night. So of course she's in love. With 16-year-old I have found it easier if Matt does all the tough parenting shit and I act like I'm on her side kind of. Of course he knows I'm not really, but she doesn't want me parenting her, so instead of trying to force it on her I'm trying to be more like just a sibling and he is the bad guy. It doesn't work out perfectly and I still get pissed off at her, but mostly only when she does something to interfere with me parenting the other 4. Like 7-year-old has her lovies, old muslin cloths, she is very attached to, and 16-year-old confiscated one of them and wouldn't give it back, and I had to tell her you don't confiscate shit and force her to give it back by threatening to take her phone. But other stuff I leave to Matt. He is less bothered by the psychological BS with her. He just gets annoyed when I have an attitude with him and she overhears and copies me lol. It's been a lot of trial and error figuring out how to deal with everyone because like 13-year-old is my shadow and does not react well to Matt disciplining her at all, but is fine if I do it. And 12-year-old is one extreme or the other. Would tell me to fuck off but would cry when Matt tells him off for it. He listens to me better now, but only when I grab him and make him look at me whilst I speak because he is the master of tuning me out. He cuddles me when no one else is around though, and if Matt disciplines him he comes to me crying. 9-year-old is a perfect angel until she isn't and decides to have a 30-minute battle with us because she doesn't want to brush her teeth for no actual reason. She kind of reminds me of myself as a kid trying to keep it all together all the time, but she is safe enough to then let it all out in a meltdown. Mostly she's pretty easy because she's reasonable, but sometimes she does go full demonic and tests our patience. To everyone messaging me saying 7-year-old sounds autistic, she's not. I've discussed it with the doctor and the therapist. She's got anxiety and abandonment issues and is very stressed in general, which is why she can't let herself lose control and fall asleep. But she was not like this before my mum left at all. she used to sleep fine. All of them struggle with food because they have been eating ramen their whole lives, but it's harder to get 7-year-old to eat better. The older ones I can explain it a bit better that they need the nutrition and they will try and eat more. But she doesn't give a fuck about nutrition. And she's crazy attached to me because she thinks I will leave obviously. She has tabs on me constantly. But in theory that should all pass with time and reassurance. Matt has been really good at not being like our parents were with us. He walks away a lot when he gets pissed off because he doesn't want to react badly to the kids. He hasn't smacked anyone since our big argument about it, which to be honest is impressive considering how it was for us as kids. He literally has scars from my dad's beatings and my mum has broken multiple bones on a few different kids. So trying not to be physical at all when that's what you're used to is hard, but we are doing it. I'm chilling out a bit now with letting him actually parent and not intervening all the time. Like a while ago we were having a terrible night with 7-year-old and she was still screaming at about 2 a.m. Matt came to get her off me because I was about to lose it, and as he picked her up she was flipping out and accidentally headbutted him full in the face. I basically went blind and grabbed her off him so fast because if that was my dad he literally would have thrown her across the room and she'd be in hospital. But Matt just sat on the floor silently and held his nose for a while. And I was like, okay, what the frick, he didn't even seem pissed off. So a couple more situations like that and now I'm not so crazy in protection mode and feel like I can trust him. Anyway, this is a lot longer than I planned yet again. Can't stop writing when I start even though these updates take me days. Update 7. 16-year-old is still up and down. Sometimes so nice and easy to be around and other times I'm like TF is going on in her head. Like she had been really good with asking if she could go out and telling us who with and where and what she was doing. Which was like so much progress. Then a couple weeks ago I went to check on one of the other kids at like 1 a.m. and 16-year-old wasn't in bed, or anywhere else in the house. Called her 10 times and she had gone out. Her excuse was we were already in bed when she was invited so she couldn't ask. That's BS anyway because she knows I wasn't asleep. I was laying with 7-year-old and had my phone with me so she could have texted me. Just stupid shit like that where I'm like, I just need to know where you are, like especially at night, and she likes to argue with me about disciplining the younger ones, which is hell ironic because she thinks she can do whatever she wants and I'm like evil if I tell her no. But then she tells me I'm a soft pushover when the little kids are doing something they shouldn't. 9-year-old has been terrorizing 7-year-old and I'm trying to deal with it based on advice from the therapist and stuff I have read. 16-year-old likes to get involved and give 9-year-old a taste of her own medicine, which pretty much means she slaps her back. That doesn't help with my entire aim of everyone keeping their hands to themselves. I can see why 16-year-old does it because I have to fight the urge to do the whole, you hurt her I'll hurt you, thing with 9-year-olds since that was what my parents were like when they could be bothered to try to actually parent. Anyway, now I spend half the time trying to keep 9 and 7 separate and the other half arguing with 16-year-old about discipline. Worst thing 9-year-old has done was hit 7-year-old on the head with a metal water bottle and Matt lost his shit as much as you can lose it with a kid that age. She has been better since but still not nice. Basically she's frustrated with 7-year-old because she won't play or anything at the moment here. They used to be best friends and play all day long. And 9-year-old is trying to kind of discipline 7-year-old because she doesn't like it when she has meltdowns or talks about our dad or anything. 7-year-old is my shadow and because she doesn't sleep well she is always tired / grumpy and not much fun for 9-year-old to be around, so she gets angry with her. I was trying to push to 7-year-old to play and that always ended in tears because she would just sit there and not join in whatever game 9-year-old was wanting her to play, so she'd get mad and lash out. So now I'm just letting 7-year-old be, and if she's happy being my shadow then okay. For context, she's so attached to me that when she wasn't in the same room as me for like 10 minutes recently and I knew Matt didn't have her, I was kind of concerned where she was, went and found her sat on 12-year-old's lap whilst he played a video game with his friend. The fact she was interested in something other than me or Matt was like whoa, and I literally almost cried. With 9-year-old we are trying to give her more one-on-one time because she likes that and Defo needs it, but it's difficult to work around everything else. Matt has more time to spend with her, but she mostly wants me. I can usually get like 20 minutes with her in the evening, but that's it. Obviously I see her more than that, but with the other kids there and 7-year-old being needy as frick, it's not really quality time. 13 and 12 are basically the same. Pretty easy compared to the other three. 13 has her moments of copying 16 and being a huge pain in my ass, but mostly she is good. A bit of attitude is breezy like give me the best you've got IDGAF about that. as long as she's not jumping out her bedroom window and running around in the middle of the night. Had an issue with her because she wanted to sleep over at her friend's house and I said no because the dad is so sus and she was hell mad at me, but she got over it. 12 just wants big brother's approval, so he's been good. Hasn't told me to go fuck myself in ages lol because Matt is literally the respect police and won't let him get away with the shit he used to say to me. Matt is sorting out all the moving stuff, trying to make it happen end of the year hopefully. I'm not really involved as I'm too busy and he knows more about it as he has done all the research and I told him to figure out work and a house and schools and then just fill me in. I reduced my hours at work as it was too much and things have been easier since. Our sister, number 2, is saying she will move with us maybe as she wants to help out. Would be amazing to have 3 adults in the house, but we will have to see if that will defo work or not. That's kind of it, nothing else really happening. Haven't heard from my mum and my nan is still living with our aunt. My oldest sister still sends money and we talk a bit, but I told her straight that I can't deal with the constant trauma talk right now. Edit, everyone is messaging me about 7-year-old's muslin cloths. Just gonna say I can't mess with the cloths. They are her lovies, and they all have names and personalities and in her head they are dolls, not rags. She makes them play together and speak and they have faces drawn on them. So if I wash them, I'm drowning them, if I stuff them inside a teddy, I'm suffocating them, if I stitch them together, I'm stabbing them. You get the picture. Imagine them as her literal babies and you'll appreciate how limited I am in what I can do with them lol. So my aim is to get her to switch her focus onto something else, but it's hard when the rags have been the only toys she has really had in her whole life. And also, her being obsessed with 5 rags is like kind of the least of my worries to be honest. Having to find missing rags all the time isn't the most fun thing ever, but it's not a huge problem for me. Update 8. Got my first text from a kid's friend's mum today inviting 7-year-old to her kid's birthday party in a few weeks. This is the message. Hi Hannah, friend and friend's sister, are having a joint birthday party at our house and, friend, would love for, 7-year-old, to come. It's drop off 1 p.m. and collect 3 p.m. Let me know if she can make it. If I like the whole drop off / pickup thing like I don't even really know these people except to just say hi to. But if that's normal I don't want to be a freak and make it weird. 7-year-old has literal diagnosed separation anxiety right now anyway, so not sure she would even let me leave her there, but I'm stressed either way. Don't want her to miss out and don't really want to leave her at someone's house for 2 hours. But I would if it turns out this is normal and I'm a nut. Edit. Thanks everyone. Appreciate everyone telling me I can ask the mum to stay without coming across as a lunatic. She was like yeah defo there's a couple parents staying and I can if I want to / if 7 wants me to. So yay now I feel way less stressed. Didn't ask kiddo yet since she was in a monster mood and would have said no to anything I asked her, but we'll find out her thoughts tomorrow lol. Update 9. Thanks for all the advice everyone. I took 7-year-old to her friend's party and stayed the whole time and it was defo the right decision, so I'm glad I messaged the mum about it and was able to figure it out. Louie came up to me loads at the start and then just looked at me a lot for the rest of the party, but she had a great time and I loved seeing her with her friends. She's never had a party or celebrated her birthday though, so she had a lot of questions after and I promised she could have a cake and a party next year for her birthday. Getting a party bag fascinated her. She was like whoa and said it was kind of like her birthday because she got a cupcake and 4 presents in the bag, stickers and a yo-yo and a small baby doll and a coloring book. She took 2 days to eat the cupcake and the baby is called Rapunzel and she carries it everywhere. I'm glad I asked Fed here and didn't freak out and just say no like I was tempted to since the idea of leaving her was freaking me out. Update 10. My mum had another baby, another girl. It shocked me so much because I literally think through this exact scenario in my head every day. But it still hit me like a ton of bricks and I was on the edge of losing my mind for a couple days. I think a mixture of knowing that either way this goes it's going to fuck me up and also just general anger at my mum for how irresponsible she is. If we take her I'm raising a whole newborn from scratch again, and if we don't take her I will torture myself for the rest of my life wondering if she's okay and feeling guilty. At first we were going to just say no we can't take her and have her go straight to foster care or adoption. But she's in hospital with meningitis, so after days of stressing out and talking about everything I'm traveling down right now to be with her because I can't deal with her being alone and I was going crazy. Information has been really patchy, but last I heard they think my mum would have got pregnant in late January because the baby is preemie. I suspected when she left at Christmas that she had found out where our dad, so she must have been with him for how long. Doubt she's still with him because she usually plays happy families with the new baby if my dad is still there when it's born. My mum carries strep B, so it's not the first time she's had a newborn with serious issues from that. We don't even know what day she was born on. I'm so mad at her that she didn't tell me she was pregnant or come home to have the baby. I would have made sure she got medical care and she would be okay. I'll know more when I get there, but it sounds like my mum didn't have her in hospital, which again wouldn't be the first time she's done that. I've had to just leave Matt with the kids and hope things will be okay. He says he's got it, but it can obviously me leaving didn't go down well with 7-year-old. 16-year-old is like a new person since we found out and is suddenly the most helpful person ever, and now I've gone she keeps messaging me that things are fine at home and that she wants me to bring the baby home with me. She's the only kid who even knows about the baby. The others think I'm helping our sister with something. I just don't know what to do. Imagining letting her go live with strangers sends me into literal blind panic. I've been in foster care and it was horrible. I know it's different for babies, but like, how can I risk her going to live with people who might not love her? I know I will love her and she will be okay with us. But the other part of me is like, can I realistically have another kid at home, and what if she gets adopted by amazing people and has an incredible life? What to do? The caseworker is saying that staying with family is priority and it would most likely be possible for us to have her if we want her. But I don't want to say yeah, I want her and have all this stuff happen and then take her home and realize I can't do this. A baby is a lot different from school-aged kids. But I have done it before, and I was like 13 last time I was doing night feed, so surely at 20 I can do it. 7-year-old is finally mostly sleeping in her own bed, and I've actually been sleeping at last. But I feel like an idiot if I say yeah, give this human child away just so I can get a bit more sleep. That's crazy. Matt is saying we could bring her home and see how it goes as like a temporary thing. But I don't want to just say yeah, okay, let's bring her home like a pet cat or fish. I want to be certain that it's the right choice. I will get so attached and so will she, and that's not fair, because if it turns out it's impossible to have this many kids, then what the hell do we do? I mean, I guess nothing is impossible. I don't know, I just hate the thought of giving her to random people. I know through the years all of us will be together and my head will be constantly like, how's the baby? Where's the baby right now? What if she's lonely? What if no one loves her? What if she has no one to play with? Maybe she's hungry. I will be torturing myself forever. How people give a kid away. She's not even my fucking kid, and I'm like, no, you're part of me, I need to keep you with me. But what if I can't? Financially it will be okay because we get decent money for kinship, and between us we can make enough money to be okay. When we move, before Christmas hopefully, there will be 3 adults in the house because our older sister is moving with us, plus 16 will be 17 by then. By the end of February, all the kids will have had their birthdays, so they will be 14, 13, 10 and 8. Just getting more independent, and then bam, newborn. What to do? My oldest sister is like, fuck this, you need to get her adopted. Everyone else wants to keep her. I just want a crystal ball so I could see how things turn out either way and then decide, because the thought of regretting this choice for the rest of my life is really making me so stressed. Not really looking for advice, to be honest, because I don't want the life of a literal baby being decided by Reddit, as that just seems fucked up, and I want it to be the right choice for us that we have made with the caseworkers. I'm just rambling because it's an 8-hour journey and I need to stop spamming Matt and my sisters with my constant thoughts. But yeah, for everyone who was messaging me like your mum will have another one, you called it, I guess. Update 11. Short update as I don't have much time, but everyone is messaging me today asking what's happening. Baby is doing really well. The past week has been up and down and still got a few issues ATM, but there's a super good chance she will be totally fine. She looks like an alien and she has a cannula in her tiny head, but she's okay according to literally every nurse and doctor I keep harassing about her, because to look at her you'd think this baby is not well. They are like, no, she's doing great. But yeah, if she wasn't brought to the hospital when she would be dead. They still haven't found my mom. No idea where she is, but most likely left the city. Maybe she actually realizes she fucked up this time, and you can't leave your newborn with random crackheads. We are getting temporary custody and hopefully bringing her straight home when she gets discharged if everything is sorted by then. Need to actually see if we can manage it before we make a solid decision, so it makes sense to do it this way, and the caseworker is fully on board. I'm worried about everyone getting attached and then it not working out, but after talking about it all week we think it's better to try and fail than not try and wonder what if. Had to tell the kids about her obviously, and they are all like, this is the best thing ever and excited, but I think they think she'll be a quiet adorable doll, and the little girls think they get to name her, so it's all fun to them. She won't be called Calypso or Lilo or Rapunzel though, and she definitely isn't quiet, so if the excitement will last long once we get home. We'll see. I'm anxious to just get home and have an actual conversation with Matt and my sister, because right now it feels like they are like, yeah, we can keep her, but I'm the only one thinking about things long term and like the actual logistics of having an infant. Update 12. Hey, so everyone has been messaging me offering us money or gifts and stuff since my first post, but it's a lot more ATM because of the baby. I don't want to keep replying the same thing, so we'll just say here instead. So we are really doing okay. I don't know if most of you are from the USA, but here in Australia we get good money for kinship. Like more money than we have ever had before by a long way. We also get discounts on some stuff. I know how to feed 5 kids on very little money, and I'm still in that habit, so the money we get now covers what we need and more. Me and Matt both have jobs, and our older sisters give us money as well when they can. Matt has literally been saving some money for when we move and for emergencies, because he can. Not saying we are gonna be going on holidays and buying anything we want, but we have enough to get by and will be able to give the kids an actual Christmas this year. They can probably count on one hand all the presents they have had until now. Birthdays didn't exist in our family before, so if we get them a cake and a couple of gifts they will be amazed. I bought myself some clothes recently, and that was crazy to me to get new stuff and not have to think it's either clothes or food or whatever. Like I could just buy them because I wanted to and it was okay. So yeah, I don't want them to get an avalanche of presents and end up not caring as much about what they do have. Honestly, can't imagine having an Amazon wish list and things just showing up at our house. They would probably all have heart attacks. And for the baby stuff, Matt has posted in some Facebook groups and has people offering things we need for free or cheap, so he has already arranged for us to have most of the big things we need, and the money we get for her from the gov will pay for some of the rest of it. I appreciate the offers so much, but I wouldn't feel right taking them when we are able to save some money at the moment, which is honestly crazy to me, and I know so many people who can't save $10 a week if they wanted to. So if you are offering stuff to us, please give it to another family who probably needs it more. We used to struggle so much, and there's still so many people in that situation. I guess most people would still say we are poor or whatever, but we used to be way worse than poor. We don't share instant noodles for dinner anymore, so we good. Sorry for rambling again, and thanks for everyone being so kind and helpful. Update 13. I never know how to start these, lol. Hi. People want to know about the baby, so update is she is doing good. We finally got her home. Was a mission for real and the weirdest combo of stress/relief when we finally did it. As far as babies go, she is on the easier side, I would say. At the moment she sleeps a ton, and I literally have to wake her up to feed her, and even then she like falls asleep halfway through a bottle. My life legit revolves around bottles. Cleaning bottles, sterilizing bottles, making bottles, logging how much she drank, tracking how long until the bottles expire, getting confused which bottle is which, so making them again because I'm paranoid I'm gonna give her an expired one. It never ends. So funny that there's that whole debate about how bottle feeding is like lazy or whatever, and the easy way out, because I swear I wish I gave birth to this kid so I could just feed her from my tits and be done with it. Dealing with bottles is so time consuming. But not gonna lie, the baby herself is not a huge deal, it's the addition of the baby to the existing chaos that's like kind of fucked, because they all have such different needs already. Like I thought the 7 to 13 gap was huge and a pain in the ass to keep them all happy, but now it's like let's entertain you all and remember the feeding schedule of an infant. On the upside, I don't have to do many nappy changes ATM because all the kids want to help with the baby all the time, so as soon as I say she needs to be changed they are all fighting over whose turn it is, which is hilarious, and I hope it lasts. Don't want to talk about my mum, to be honest, except to say the baby is a full sibling, so she is my dad's. I knew she was anyway, but we got DNA done to confirm, as PPL have asked. Had a convo with my mum that I honestly want to delete because it's so bad, but I can't, so yeah. Hoping she just gets locked up at this point. I'm so fucking done, but doesn't seem like any efforts being made to actually find her, like they don't give a fuck. Sounds like they will do something if she walks into the station like hey arrest me. Obviously I'm sleep deprived, which is actually more from 7-year-old than from the baby, and stressed out, but I was already both of those things before, so to be honest it doesn't feel crazy different right now. I'm just more sleep deprived and more stressed. But like okay, what else is new? I just have a tiny baby monkey asleep somewhere near me at all times. The kids are doing well, have had a couple jealousy issues with the younger ones, but mostly they have been really great. Not expecting that to last once the novelty of the baby wears off. 7-year-old is up and down on how happy she is about sharing me, but it's not been too bad because there are enough PPL that someone can usually hold the baby so I can focus on 7 or 9 or whoever. I've given up trying to get them to be quiet around the baby because they want, and so far she sleeps through everything anyway. 17-year-old, had her birthday, the first birthday we have properly celebrated like ever. Can't wait for the others to have their birthdays now. Has been literally amazing. I'm like who are you? Compared to the total pain in my ass she was before, she's been so good. Helps me out a lot even though I tell her she doesn't have to. Won't go into it all here because it's her private business, not for me to share, but she's had some huge breakthroughs with therapy and seems like since the baby she has realized our mom is beyond fucked and she's shifted her anger off me and onto her. She's full in protective mode over the baby, which is crazy for me to see because she normally couldn't give a shit about the younger kids. Not saying everything is perfect there, we still have some issues going on, but she is so helpful ATM and just like thoughtful. It gets nice. I think maybe we will end up being friends. My oldest sister not so much, she's hell pissed me off because she is so against me taking the baby and has been going on rants about me being an enabler and how I need more therapy because I can't keep cleaning up our mom's mess. Like okay, firstly guess she hasn't noticed our mom couldn't give a fuck, and if she wants to have 10 more babies she would whether I took this one or gave her away. I could send the baby to outer space, my mom still wouldn't care and would have another one if she thought it would get my dad's attention. And yeah, I'm not really here for her calling the baby it, and acting like I should literally give her away like she's an unwanted toy or whatever, so I'm not speaking to her ATM. It makes me upset because I love her, but I can't mentally deal with her right now if she's gonna be like that. Had to name the baby, so I called her the name I have always wanted to call my own kid because who knows if I will have one, and I thought it would help me bond with her because I have an emotional attachment to that name like I have loved it forever. But I can't stop calling her the baby because she doesn't suit having an actual name yet. LOL, she's like too little I guess. I'm trying to ease into calling her name by using a nickname, but I legit sit there in the middle of the night speaking to her and trying to call her name and just end up being like, nope, you are just a baby. Rambling again, so I'll wrap it up because who has time to read this shit, but we are all set to move as well. A bit later than planned, but whatever. Matt flew over for a few days to sort out the house, and my older sister is going to go over a week before we move to get everything fully ready, which is defo needed now we have the baby. She's complicated things a lot, but we are figuring it out. It's costing a shit ton to move, but once it's done I think everything will be so much better. No dealing with our nan and will be less cramped, and my sister will be living with us, so we will have 3 adults and the new and improved version of 17-year-old, which means it's 3.5 against 2 teenagers, 2 kids, and a newborn. Which isn't so awful. Wait for me to take that back, but I hope it will all be okay and feel easier. And our parents won't know where we are, so Matt will finally chill out and stop having daily heart attacks about kids being here, there and everywhere around town, or me being home alone or whatever. That's all I can be bothered to write, and again I've written this in 3 different sittings this week, so if it doesn't make sense please just excuse my tired rambling brain. LOL. Update 14. Kind of drowning ATM, but literally not even because of the kids, because of all the MF adults who want to make my life harder constantly. My oldest sister is so fucking annoying, like literally give it a rest, I don't care what you think. My nan is raging about so many things, I told her to write a list and drop it off at this point. She was raging about my older sister, number 2, being in her house since she ruined your mom's life, which is so delusional I can't even believe she said it, and she's raging that I'm taking her grandkids away from their roots and their family. So stupid because she hasn't even tried to see them in months. And a whole bunch of other shit I'm too pissed off to even write. My aunt and uncle have chosen now of all times to start like demanding my nan comes back to live here, and I'm saying no fucking way because we are moving this week and I'm not about to move kids around to make space for her when they have a spare room and can keep her for legit like a few more days until we are gone. My uncle starts threatening me, says I'm being ungrateful and a brat, yap like be for real, I don't need to be grateful to you for letting our nan live there when she chose to move out. Not like I even suggested it, she just didn't like that I was telling the kids to listen to me and not her. Not like I wanted to be the one doing everything, but she couldn't be trusted to parent a MF cat, let alone actual kids. Take my mom as the example of what my nan creates. Told my aunt and uncle they can STFU and keep her until we leave and then preferably never speak to me again. I'm so done, so over it, so ready to get out of here. Then my oldest sister calls 17-year-old crying, because I had her blocked. So OFC, I take the phone and she's just going on about her problems and I tell her I'm too stressed to deal with her right now. She's all, I told you so, you shouldn't have taken the baby. Like bitch, this baby just sleeps, she's fine. I'm stressed because of a bunch of adults who can't act like adults or understand any other POV but their own. I know why my sister doesn't want me to have the baby, but she keeps telling me again and again. I have to talk to her like I talk to the little kids and be like, I am listening to you and I heard you and I'm taking it on board. I just don't agree with you. Nothing else needs to be said. I had originally told her she was welcome to come over to WA with us, as I knew all of us being together was upsetting her and I don't want her to feel unwelcome, but I just took that back because I can't think of anything worse than her being around the kids. Anyway, then there's the actual stresses, e.g. moving across the country and having to pack up everything for this many people. I mean, it's a good time to be poor with not many belongings, to be honest. How people do this when they have a shit ton of stuff. 7-year-old is freaking the fuck out because one of her lovies is missing and she will not move without it. If I've mentioned the lovies here before, probably have to be honest, they are the bane of my existence, but they are a bunch of old muslin cloths she is very attached to. She thinks of them as her dolls and her favorite thing to do is make them have a tea party, but it's legit just a bunch of rags in a circle around an empty can of Sprite. Some of them are falling apart literally, but she loves them small, so whatever, if a rag makes you happy that's cool, but having to look for them all the time is not fun. Before PPLs say to get her some actual dolls, I have, but they don't hit the same, I guess. So yeah, finding that is way higher on my priority list than it really should be. On the subject of losing things, 17-year-old lost her fucking mind the other day and we almost had a fist fight. I was on the edge from all the other stress and she was screaming at me and my older sister, number 2, and I was so done I actually lost it, which I usually don't do. She ended up being like, are you gonna fucking hit me? And I was almost like, yes bitch, let's go. But I hung on to my last shred of restraint and my other sister got involved, ending up making 17-year-old cry, and then I had to be all nice and comfort her because my older sister is so unmaternal, it's unreal. She's just like, well, if you didn't act like an asshole I wouldn't have yelled at you. Anyway, we are over it now. I apologized, she apologized, we understand each other and we're moving on. She's just stressed about moving and I'm stressed about all of the above, so whatever, it was gonna happen. My older sister, too, is already at the new house getting it ready because we didn't want to show up with all these damn kids and nothing prepared. Matt is being a stress head as well, so that's hell fun because I don't even have his calm energy to keep me from losing it. Just keep telling myself in a few days it's all over and taking it an hour at a time. Rest of the kids are fine. Had some kind of issue with every single one of them in the last couple weeks, but I knew we would because it's Christmas time and we are moving from their friends, their school, their house, so they are a bit on edge. But they're good considering everything. Like I said, they are not my biggest problem right now. The baby is just being a baby. She's pretty happy, I think, and I'm pretty jealous of her, not gonna lie. Just sits there with zero clue what's going on. When packing up I found some old baby clothes and literally got so triggered because some of them had what I'm pretty sure is blood stains, and it brought up a lot of feelings about everything. Had a full mental breakdown whilst everyone was asleep, and then the baby woke up and brought me back to reality, and not to get emotional, but to be honest, it made me so grateful for her. Like just sitting there with her makes me think about how things are so much better now and how she will have no idea about any of this shit. So fucking glad she's not with my mum right now and will hopefully never have to see her. Little update turned into a big one as usual. Sorry, I can't stop when I get going, but yeah, that's where we are at right now. Pray for me flying with all these lil gremlins. It's legit everyone's first ever flight, and getting them settled into a whole new life, which we hope will actually be better and worth the hell of moving. Final update. we are in the new place. Things are mostly good if still pretty chaotic. I love the new house and it's amazing having so much more space and just feeling like it's a fresh start. My sister came over in advance and it was so good arriving to the house being half set up already. She put all the beds together and had new bedding on already, first time for everyone, so that made things smoother. Honestly, I had so many plans for everything we would do when we got here, but we haven't done any of it. We are just loving being in the house with the air con. I try to get the kids to the park early morning or in the evening when it's cooler so they can get some fresh air, but that's like the extent of our outings. Matt and my sister have run errands and they take a kid or two with them usually, but yeah, we are mostly just enjoying the house. It sounds dramatic, but Matt is like a different person. It's like I saw the weight go off him when we got here. He sings in the shower now, LMAO. The flight over was hell, literally so bad I had it all planned out who was sitting where and who was looking after which kid. Nope, the baby cried on and off the whole time, so I was too terrified to move a muscle in case she started up again. 13-year-old was moody and stressed about the baby crying and I had to switch her to sit elsewhere before she made me lose my shit. 9-year-old, as it turns out, hates flying, so she was crying at takeoff and landing and a few times in between saying she wanted to get off. 7-year-old kept needing a pee literally every 10 minutes. 17-year-old took her a few times but then was too embarrassed, so Matt took over. 12-year-old was happy as can be, decided he wants to be a pilot and basically looked out the window the whole time and was zero trouble. Except he did try walking off a couple times in the airport. He wanted to go in one of those massage chairs. So I guess that settles the debate on girls or boys being easier. And since we got into the house it hasn't all been sunshine rainbows, happy families. Day 2, 13-year-old and 9-year-old had an epic fight. 13 slammed 9's hand in the door in the process. She obviously started screaming, crying, and Matt went running, but as he got there 12-year-old was already there and swinging for 13-year-old because he was defending little sis. Matt reads the entire situation wrong and thinks 12-year-old is on the rampage and hurt 9-year-old, so he goes full ape shit at 12. The whole thing woke up 7-year-old who was napping because she slept like crap the night before and was a grump. I was like, what the fuck is going on, and everyone was screaming and I was like, what is my life? Told Matt to fuck off because he was annoying me, and then I had crying / grumpy / scared 7-year-old, crying / injured 9-year-old, and crying 12-year-old all on my bed whilst 13-year-old shouted at me that it wasn't her fault and blah blah blah. I was ready to send her back to my nan, to be honest, just kidding. Like, yeah, they fight a fair bit, but that was next level. I think we are gonna have more of this BS as well because Christmas Eve it will be a year since my mum left, plus the kids are all worried about going to new schools. 12-year-old cried about missing his mates and I literally felt so awful because he rarely cries, so I know he's going through it right now. Matt and my older sister had an argument over discipline and I had to bite my tongue so hard not to get involved. As soon as we have some time I'm sitting down with them to discuss everything because, to be honest, I don't want my sister involved in parenting really. Partly because she will only be here 50% of the time and partly because she is on a different wavelength to me and it would be hell unsustainable parenting the younger kids with completely different approaches. My sister is pretty tough and acts like they are her friends, doesn't empathize that well with them and won't be consistent with discipline because it would depend on her mood how much she could be bothered to do. Like, I will spend 45 minutes putting the youngest back in time out until she quits fighting me and actually apologizes. Because I know it will be worth it long term. My sister can't be fucked with, she doesn't need to apologize, who even cares? I have seen her witness 9-year-old pull out a chunk of 7-year-old's hair and literally say, do that again and I'll threat. Like, are you kidding? That isn't a two-strike situation. So yeah, I would prefer if she's just like actual big sister / aunt vibes. Me and Matt already have an established good cop bad cop routine going on and it works. But I will talk to her and see where she's at. She can help with 17 and 13 because we have very different issues with them, but the others I think need to just know me and Matt are the parents and sis is sis. And she sucks with babies, so that's fine. The little one is all mine. In more positive news, we have Christmas decorations for kind of the first real time and the kids are very excited. They hide it well because they are used to disappointment, but I think they are secretly really psyched for an actual Christmas. 7-year-old tried to write a letter to Santa for the first time and got very overwhelmed, didn't know what to ask for and ended up crying because she doesn't think he will come anyway. I told her to just not worry about what to ask for as Santa will know what she wants. Don't know what to even tell her about why he has never been before. But I can't wait for them to all get their presents. They are gonna freak out. But also seeing her try to write made me super stressed about her being behind, and I legit emailed her new teacher to see if I can do anything to help her before she starts. 9-year-old is so happy, she keeps saying she thinks this house is just a dream and she's gonna wake up at Nan's again. Her and the baby are my little rays of sunshine right now. My oldest sister I think does shit just to rile me so she can speak to me, because we had another argument yesterday. She said some horrible crap, talked shit about multiple of my kids, basically told me I'm a bad parent and was like, you need to stop playing house. Then I stopped replying, and next thing she's like, I've sent you $500 for Christmas presents. Like, do you love me or hate me? I don't even know. Still got a fuck ton to sort out with the house and everything, and settling in will take a bit, but so far so good with all that, and we are happy to be away from our Nan and be out of that house and away from the constant bad memories. Anyway, as always, this is a big update, but it's only taken me 2 sittings for a change. All the kids are still asleep so I have time, but I'm gonna go get the baby and feed her before they start waking up so she can eat in peace, lol.